Hey guys, welcome back. We are going to see the responsibility matrix. It's more of a self realization. This is something which I have learned from my coach, Chris Avery. So I wanted to share with you all about this. In our journey towards personal and professional growth, we often encounter this responsibility process, a roadmap that helps to understand our reactions and behaviors when we face the challenges. I've seen myself and many others like me has gone through this process and stuck at one of these stages of responsibility many a times. This is very obvious when we encounter with a problem. More than taking the responsibility, we tend to find some lame reason. Understanding the responsibility process empowers us to make more conscious choices, learn from our experiences, and become better leaders both in our personal and professional lives. It's a journey that enables growth, self awareness, and ultimately success. First step is denial. Denial is our first reaction when we confronted with a problem. We might choose to ignore it or pretend it doesn't exist. For instance, if you miss a deadline and convince yourself it is not a big deal. Another example, imagine you have a health goal, but you constantly avoid exercise and overindulge in unhealthy foods, pretending it won't affect you. Second step, it is a lay blame. When denial no longer works, we tend to blame others for our circumstances. It is easy to point fingers and avoid taking responsibility. Maybe take an example, your project work at work forces delays and you blame your colleagues for not providing the necessary information. Third step is more on a justify. As we start recognizing our role in a situation, we often justify our actions or decisions. You might tell yourself that you had a good reason for a missed deadline, like being too busy. So maybe another example, you miss a family event due to work commitments and justify it by saying you had no choice. Fourth step in the process is shame. When we can no longer justify our behavior, shame sets in. We realize our actions were not aligned with our values. For instance, you might feel ashamed for not meeting your commitment. The fifth, obligation. In obligation, you do what you have to instead of what you want to. You love to do business, for example, right? But somehow you landed as an employer to an organization. Sixth is quit. The weight of shame can be heavy and it may be lead to quitting. You may quit because of last two stages of shame or obligation. For example, feeling overwhelmed by mounting responsibilities, you decide to give up on your side project. So finally, the responsibility. So we take the responsibility with full understanding because we know it's the right thing to do. Just skip all the six stages and have your ownership in that, and which aligns your values and principle. This is a real ownership. You really own your problem or the work you have taken and choose the right solution and response to it, which makes a real value to you. For example, you realize that your family's happiness is a priority. So you take the responsibility to balance your work and commitments with quality time with loved ones.